Hey everyone, Mike Burke here with InsideRealEstatePhotography.com, and in this video I'm going to take you along with me on a full, real-life, on-site, Flambient real estate photography shoot. Alright guys, so I'm here on site at a shoot. I'm going to take you through a full Flambient shoot here. I'm going to do commentary on all my shots as I go along. I'm going to record this whole thing through my camera lens so you can see exactly how I'm framing my shots, my settings, how I'm shooting. I'm going to tell you my flash settings as I go along and show you where I'm going to pop off flashes, you know, the whole process. So hopefully this will be a good learning experience in case you're just getting into Flambient, or if you're just curious on how I do it, you know, this will show you how I do it. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into it and do the shots. I'll give my commentary, like I said, along the way. Hopefully this will be helpful to some of you guys out there. So let's get into it. All right guys, so the first shot I'm going to do here is in the entryway. I'm just going to compose my shot here. Sorry if the audio sounds weird at any time, it's because I'm hunching over my camera. This is sort of a tight entryway here, so it's gonna be a little awkward no matter what. I wanna catch a little bit of this banister in the shot because it's nice. All right, so my camera's level. Composition, it's good. Now I'm going to fire off my bracketed shot. I'm shooting 5 brackets, 2 stops apart, f8, ISO 400. 400 ISO speeds things up just a little bit. Doesn't degrade the quality that much, or at all, really perceptibly, that I've noticed. So I usually stick to 400 when I do my brackets. I like the banister, it looks huge in the picture, but again, this is kind of just awkward. I'm going to fire this off. All right, so those are my brackets. That's what I'm going to use for my ambient frame. Now I'm going to just switch my dial to a custom slot that I have for my Flambient shooting settings. I just did a video on camera settings recently. I'll link to that up on the screen right now. And one part of it is about using your custom slots on your camera. This way you can switch back between settings, video settings, photo settings. It just makes things quick and easy. So now I'm on my Flambient settings. I'm just going to raise my exposure up using the shutter speed to where I would shoot my ambient frame. If I was doing traditional single frame Flambient, using just one frame for the ambient, this would be where I would shoot it around here. I don't necessarily pay attention to the meter being 0 at the bottom of the screen there. Just kind of what looks right as far as to my eye for an ambient frame. And then once I get there, I'm just going to drop it down 2 stops about, which is about 6 clicks on the shutter wheel dial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I may even go a little bit more. The idea here is that you want to cut down the ambient light as much as possible, or enough, because we want to overpower the ambient light with the flash. We want the flash to be the dominant light source, to overpower all the ambient light, to give us a nice clean flash shot. So that's the idea here. So now I'm ready to do my flash shot. I'm going to turn on my flash trigger. I'm going to set my power here. So this is kind of a tight space, it's not very large. I think I'm going to start at a 1/4 power. All right, so I set my flash to a 1/4 power. I'm just going to stand behind the camera here, aim my flash directly up at the ceiling, and I'm going to fire this off and see what we got. All right, so that was good. You probably saw to the left in this other adjoining room, it was a little dark. I might just do another flash pop quick over there. How beautiful. So that lit up that little side of the room, adjoining room over here where the flash really didn't get to. So those 2 are good. I could probably get away with one of those, that first flash shot for a window pull on this door here, but I'm going to just shoot one directly at it just in case. By flashing a window, you can use darken mode by making everything else bright around it. it's a quick way to blend in and do a window pull when you're editing, doing post-processing. So that's why I'm gonna do this shot here. So as you can see, I really overexposed around the window there of the door. So when I go into post-processing, I can use darken mode and it will do a window pull very easily. I might make a second video along with this, like an editing video, just to show Flambient editing process. So I think that might be the next video I do. So stay tuned for that, we'll see. All right, now I'm going to do a reverse shot here. Kind of looking in to the entryway here with the staircase. Turn it in, get the staircase and into the living room area there. Okay, my camera's level. You can see, let me just check here. Vertical's a little off. Maybe I'll raise it up a little bit. I'm just using the molding or the trim there along the door on the right hand edge of the frame to make sure my vertical is perfectly straight. Again, that's something you can adjust in editing, but I like to be as spot on as possible when I'm shooting. So now I'm going to just turn my camera dial back to my bracket settings. All right, so I'm just going to fire off my brackets. Make sure your flash trigger is off. Now I'm just going to turn my dial quickly to my Flambient custom slot settings. Again, I'm going to get my exposure to where I need it to be. So I'm going to find where I would shoot an ambient exposure, somewhere around there, and drop it 2 stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clicks on the shutter wheel. Maybe one more. About there. All right, I'm gonna turn my flash trigger on. Again, I'm at 1/4 power. I'm gonna shoot straight up at the ceiling here. All right, so now I need to do some flash pops in the adjoining room since obviously the flash didn't make it into there. So I am going to actually up the power here because that's a much bigger room. I'm gonna go 1/2 power. All right, I got that set. So now I'm going to do a couple flash pops in the other room. That was good. I like the power on that. We do have the one window back there. I'll flash that as well, just for a window pull shot. All right, so usually good to shoot it on an angle for these window pulls so you don't get too much of a glare on the window. I'm gonna stand back even this far because my flash is pretty powerful right now, so this should be plenty good. That's why it's good to also have the brackets. You have those ambient frames. If you need to patch up any glare for a window pull or anything, you have that information in the brackets as well, backing you up. So. Now let's move into the living room area here. Probably gonna shoot from this doorway here. I'm gonna switch back to my bracket settings, turn off my flash trigger. All right, this way, shooting in from the doorway, I can get back further here. Get a nice wide shot of the entire room. I'm gonna frame this in with the couch on the right-hand edge and then this trim of the door on the left-hand side for my composition here. I usually like to use elements, you know, like that to sort of frame my shots. There's a little glare on the floor. I'm gonna adjust my circular polarizer here. You'll see like right here, this glare. Trying to eliminate as much as possible. That's with no circular polarizer. That's about full tilt circular polarizer there. That's what my finger's doing here, by the way, adjusting the ring on front. of my filter. I did a video on circular polarizer too. I will link to that up on the screen right now as well. That's a great tool for real estate photography, just reducing the glare on floors, especially like these gleaming hardwood floors. You really want to make those, you know, come out. I just leave it on my camera all the time. It's a great thing. Once I started using it, I couldn't believe I wasn't using it for the whole time I've been doing this. So it's a great thing to have. So. All right, I'm digging this composition here, so I'm gonna fire off my brackets. All right, we got our brackets shot. So I'm gonna turn my dial to my Flambient custom slot. And I'm just gonna get my, right around there would be my ambient, so I'm gonna take this down 2 stops again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 clicks, yeah, about there. I'm going to now turn my flash trigger on. That half power plus 0.3 setting that I used before looked good in that room, so you know, that's what I'm going to go with here again. Should be perfectly fine. So I got to go into the room here since I'm standing now behind the camera out of the room. I'm gonna have to go into the room to do my flash pop. So I'm gonna go in over to the right. Probably gonna need to do a couple here, so. And I'm gonna need to do one back in this room as well. So at least one. I'll try one over here. One of those I didn't like, it was too hot over there, so I'm gonna redo that one real quick. Maybe bring my power down just slightly. I'm gonna hide too. All right, I like all those shots. And what we'll do with all the flash shots, we'll composite them all into one flash shot and then composite all the brackets into one ambient shot and blend those two together later in editing. That's the idea here. So I just have to do quick my window pull shots. So I'm gonna flash these windows quickly. Get around this lamp. All right, now we're ready to switch up our shot. I'm gonna go to the opposite corner over here, I think. Let's see, get to my bracket settings. Turn off my flash trigger. Now let's see what we're gonna do here. Gonna angle this so that nice table across the way there. I raise up here because of this couch and stuff here. Get above it a little bit so it's not obstructing too much of the view. Let's make sure my camera's level, which it is. That looks good. I think I like that composition. Now I'm gonna fire off my brackets. Okay, I'm gonna switch to my Flambient settings. Again, just gonna get this to where I would shoot an ambient frame. It's tending to be around 0. Sometimes it's not the case though. Sometimes I brighten it a little bit usually. So there's good. I'm gonna drop it down 2 stops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 clicks. There's a busy road out there too, so I'm hoping I don't catch any cars out the front window there. So, all right, I'm gonna shoot one right behind the camera where I am. Turn my flash trigger on, and I'm gonna put it to half power. I'm shooting towards the ceiling, slightly angling it out towards the front of the house there, the front door. So I get a better spread on my flash here. Let's see. That was pretty good, except it was a little dark over here. I want to just flash this side of the room. You know, it might benefit from another flash pop over here. I'm gonna stand back over here. Now, of course, I had to do a quick flash pop in here since this wasn't illuminated by the flash, and then just my window pull shots, flash shots really quick. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, so next shot, I'm gonna get this shot as well. Typically in most real estate shoots, I don't wanna get two angles of a room like this, but I like this angle. So I'm just composing this shot here, leveling my camera. I actually really like this composition anyway. This might be the nicest angle of the room anyway. So I like that. So my camera's level, everything's good. I'm just gonna turn my flash trigger off and then get to my bracket settings. I'm gonna fire this off, my brackets. All right, now I'm gonna adjust my wheel again back to my flash settings. This can be done very quickly. I'm kind of demonstrating the process right now, so it's, I'm going through this slowly, sort of, but you can, quickly bing, bang, boom through this by switching your settings around really quick, popping off the flashes. It would take me longer than an HDR shoot, obviously, because I'm doing extra stuff, but take it down from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just doing this to show you the process, but you might not want to show so much what's going on out of the windows here. There's a house right over here. This is a house, so it's like, do you really need to be showing that out the window? Not necessarily. I'm just kind of going over the process. It's always good to take the window pulls just in case you want to use them or whatever. Even in looking back through the pictures, we're pretty decent as it was anyway, so they might not even be necessary. But I'm just trying to demonstrate the full process so you know kind of the procedure of what to do for when and when you want good window pulls, which most of the time, I do use them, but you could even eliminate those in this case probably. I don't even need them, I don't think. I could probably get away without them, so that would speed things up a bit. I have this set. I'm gonna fire off my flash here, right behind the camera where I am. Again, I'm gonna turn my flash trigger on, and I'm gonna set this to half power. Half power seems to be like my sweet spot where I'm at a lot of the time for rooms this size. Most typical rooms, are this size. So if you have higher ceilings and, bigger rooms, you're gonna have to up it obviously, and vice versa if it's smaller, but I tend to be at half power or around half power a lot of the time, so. Just gonna get another flash pop here on this side of the room. And from over here, angled out a little bit. Flash power down to maybe like a quarter and do my window pull shots here real quick. Probably get these two in one shot. Some good one on this angle too, so to eliminate those shadows there might cause a problem. I don't want to make this video like ridiculously long, so I'm just going to kind of take you through room by room and do the regular kind of Flambient process shots here. But I just want to make a note that I probably would, get some some close-up detail shots of some of these things as well, you know, tight shots. So maybe I'll do a few in this video, I don't know, but I just wanted to make a note of that. So let's go into the dining room here. I definitely like this angle, trying to get the view into the kitchen and, you know, most of this dining room table here. So back this way up into the corner here. Level off my camera. I'm squeezing behind the camera here, so it's very difficult to see the screen here, but that's good. Turn off my flash trigger. I'm gonna fire off these brackets. Going to turn this back to Flambient settings. And I'm gonna get this to the point of where I want my ambient shot to be. Drop it down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clicks, and 7, yeah, about 7. All right, I'm gonna turn on my flash trigger, and I'm gonna do about half power and see what that does. I'm gonna stand out of the room over here, shoot sort of angled in. It's always a good idea too, when you have a chandelier like this, the flash is gonna cast shadows. So I always like to get one on either side, so that way I'm flopping the shadow back and forth and I can eliminate it later when I'm editing. So let's see. Now, of course, I'm gonna get this window pull shot here. And of course, we got the kitchen adjoining here, so I gotta get a flash pop in there. So. All right, those all look good. Let's get another angle in this dining room. We got this tree thing in this corner. Probably, I like to get opposite corners, but unless I move that, of course I can move this. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make it work over here because I want to capture this artwork and, you know, this in the window. So that's why I always like to get opposite angles, so you can get every aspect of the room is covered. So I'm just gonna slide this plant out of the way and get this angle. I'm gonna raise my camera up here. So I wanna get above that chandelier where it's mounted to the ceiling there, and just up enough so I can see the top of the table and the table's not blocking my view too much. I got a little vertical problem going on here. This house is an old house that was renovated, so I'm sure things aren't very level in here anyway, but just wanted to appear that way. All right, so I like that composition. I'm going to turn off my flash trigger and get back to my bracket settings. I'm going to fire off my bracket shot. All right, I'm gonna go to my flash settings, Flambient settings. Down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is good. Turn on my flash trigger. I'm at a quarter power. I know I did half before, but it was kind of too much. I'm gonna bring it up to a quarter plus 0.3 here. I'm gonna shoot one right from behind the camera where I am right now, and then one across the room, and of course in the adjoining room. All right, that power was good. I'm gonna go across the room here and get another one. Window pull. This room. Maybe one back here on this side of the room. Windows. See, you can really blaze through this quickly if you're just doing it in the moment. I did have one glare on the window pull for that one shot, or that one window over there, so I just redid that one really quick. All right, so that's good for this room. Now let's move into the kitchen. Start with this. Turn off my flash trigger. Get to my brackets settings. My camera's level, composition's ready. I'll fire off my brackets. Now I'm gonna switch over to Flambient settings. Get this to where I have it, so I can go around there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, decent amount of ambient light coming in here. All right, that's good. Flash trigger on. Still at a 0.7. I think that's probably pretty close to what I need it to be. So I'm gonna fire one from back here behind the camera. Power was pretty good on that. Maybe a little hot, but it's pretty good. I can use it. Really, I only need that one flash pop, I think, but I might do one down here, and this would be the only place to do another one, but really, I don't even think it's necessary. I'm gonna bring my power down a little bit, maybe to 1/4. One thing I didn't mention about window pull shots is that if you turn your flash trigger off, when you go to do a window pull, my exposures have been good. I just kind of knew that by looking at them. But if it was really bright outside and like a bright sunny day, it's cloudy out, it's not that nice out, but if it was very nice outside and there's a lot of light coming in, you would have to just bring your exposure down probably to a point where I would just expose for the window how I would want it to be and then flash pop the window. But today, again, like I was saying, it's not really necessary because of how the conditions outside. So I've been looking at my window pull shots as they've been going. I just forgot to mention that something that you would want to do is, you know, adjust for your window before doing your flash pop to do a window pull shot. That's an important thing to remember. I don't even think I need a window pull shot here, but again, you know, we'll do one. All right, so let's switch up our shot here. This is sort of a oddly laid out kitchen. I think this shot is necessary just to get that stove area better and without much obstruction here, so like that. Composition wise, gonna get to my bracket settings, turn off the flash trigger, fire off my brackets. Flambient settings. Exposure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flash trigger on, ready to fire. It's not a 1/4 power. Let's see if that works. All right, obviously I need to do one in the adjoining room over there, and then I need to do a window pull. So I'm gonna just shoot at the door here for a window pull shot. shot in this room. All right, all good on that shot. This is going to be worth a shot too, just getting this counter area here. I'm going to raise up a little bit so I'm not seeing the underneath of the cabinets too much. They're kind of high up, but make sure I'm just going to get my composition straight here, make sure I'm level. I'm going to get to my brackets. I'll turn the flash trigger off. Our Flambient settings. My exposure to where it needs to be. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. Flash trigger on. Again, I'm at a quarter power. That seemed to be working pretty good in here, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm behind the camera, angling my flash slightly forward towards the ceiling. Yeah, that's perfect amount of power, I'd say. All right, now just window pull shots real quick. All right, that shot's good. Let's turn the camera here and get this Eden area. Getting level here. The composition right. It's kind of a weird shot to get here, but I think I might adjust the chairs or something. There we go. That way we can see the centerpiece on the table. If you don't like the way something is, just rearrange it. All right, so now turn my flash trigger off. I'm going to go to my bracket settings. All right, I'll fire off my brackets. All right, I'll go to my Flambient settings. Right there, so I'm going to go 2 stops down, about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's about right. Flash trigger on. I'm at a quarter power, that'll be good. I'm going to come down in power again, maybe like quarter again. I'm just going to do another one quick over here, just because of the chandelier and the shadows that it's casting, just to do one that eliminates those shadows. Can't hurt to have that. Now quick window pulls. All right, that's good for that shot. I think the final shot in the kitchen I'm going to do is this area here where the refrigerator is and all this. Definitely raise up here a little bit. Back to my bracket settings here, and I'm ready to fire these off. Switch to Flambient settings. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flash trigger on. I'm gonna go 1/4.7 again. That was too much flash there. Bring it down to 1/4. All right, I like that power. I do one in the adjoining room here. Window pull. Alright, so there's a little powder room in here. This is going to be a difficult shot. It's very tight. So let's see how we can do here. Camera's level. That's the best we're going to do here. Very tight in here. So I'm going to go back to bracket settings. All right, get my bracket settings. Fire these off. All right, now switching to Flambient settings. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll switch my trigger on. And this is a very tiny room, so I'm gonna go like 8th power. All right, so we're gonna move upstairs now. See what we got going on up here. All right, so we just got an empty bedroom here. Just backing up, making this as big as possible. Always try to make the bedrooms look as big as possible. It's like a big thing, usually for agents. So we get rid of that glare on the floor with the polarizer. It's about as good as we're gonna get. All right, I'm already on my bracket setting, so I'm gonna fire this off. All right, switching to Flambient. That's probably where I'd shoot my ambient shot. Bring it down 2 stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flash trigger on. I think we're only gonna need like 1/4 power here probably. I'm gonna try maybe 1/4.3. Let's see what that does. All right, that power is pretty good. I mean, you can see it looked a little orangey. It's because the flash is bouncing off. It's bouncing off the ceiling and then hitting the floor and then bouncing back off of that. So the floor is casting some orange into the room. So, you know, that can happen when the flash is bouncing around the room like that. Now I'm just gonna do a window pull. I could probably get all 3 of these windows in one shot here. I'm just gonna fire this directly at the windows from the corner here. One more over there. All right, good, so that room's done. Bedrooms are pretty quick and easy, you know, nothing crazy. That's not even staged, so this is the staged bedroom. I guess they're considering this the master or whatever. So, let's see. All right, just leveling my camera here. Vertical looks good against that door jamb there. Turn off my flash trigger, go into bracket settings. I'm gonna fire off these brackets. I'm gonna switch to Flambient settings. So I'm gonna bring this down 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. Probably good. Flash trigger on. I'm at 1/4.3 right now. I'll try that. Might be a little too much actually, we'll see. All right, very good. All right, very good. I'm gonna turn the flash trigger off here. See here's a scenario where the windows are overexposed. So if I want a window pull shot here, I'm gonna bring my exposure down even more, somewhere around there, where I like the exposure of the window. So in a sunny day, this is what you would need to do for each window pull. This is what I was talking about earlier. So I'm gonna go for that for my window pull shot and turn the flash trigger back on. That's all you need to do. Just turn the flash trigger off, expose through your windows. You could even take it, if you were just doing single frame ambience instead of brackets, you would take an ambient shot of that too. So in case you had glare on the window, you'd be able to fix it later. But I have the brackets to do that with, so that's why I'm not bothering with that. So I like that. I'm gonna now overexpose these windows. All right, I'm gonna do another angle in this room since it would be considered the master. I usually do at least 2 angles of that. Do from this corner over here. All right, so I'm gonna switch to my bracket settings. Now I'm gonna fire off these brackets. Everything's good. All right, now I'm gonna switch to my Flambient settings. Flash trigger on. Those settings worked pretty good last time, so I don't need to adjust the power here, should be fine. All right, very nice, I like that power. I'm gonna do one out in the hallway there, just to illuminate that. All right, perfect, that's good. I'm done with that shot. By the way, I don't know, these, the Sony Commander remote, sorry, I don't know if you can see that. I'll put the link down to this in the description to these. If you're doing this kind of Flambient shooting, there's those other little remotes that I've shown in my videos that I use a lot of the time just when I'm doing HDR bracket shots because they're infrared remotes. So the advantage of these for Flambient is that it's Bluetooth. So like when I went out of the room over there and did the hallway shot, the infrared remote would not have been able to trigger the camera from out there because it needs a direct line of sight to the camera to send the infrared signal. These are Bluetooth. So I can fire this off anywhere. I can probably go downstairs in the house and shoot from up down there a shot up here because it will communicate with Bluetooth. It's you know, it's so much better. So if you want to do Flambient shooting, I definitely highly recommend this Sony Commander remote. So, all right, so we got one more empty bedroom here and a bathroom, and then that's it for this house. Not a very big house. And just making sure my camera's level. Verticals look good. I'm gonna shoot one this direction, probably one in the opposite direction. Flash trigger off. Turn to the bracket setting. All right, I'm gonna fire this off. Switch to Flambient settings. About there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's a decent amount of ambient light coming in here. And I'm flash trigger on. It's about a 1/4.3. That might not be enough for this size room, but let's see. I could probably get all 3 of these windows in one shot, hopefully. All right, so we got another really tight bathroom here. Oh, I gotta close down my legs to make my tripod even narrower. Try to get as much of this into a shot as possible here. All right, that's about as good as we're gonna get here, I think. It's super tight. I don't like being that close to it, but there's no choice. I need to get my ambient bracket shots. Alright, I'm gonna go to my Flambient settings. Now again, this is a tight space, so I'll bring my power down to 1/8. Probably that's more than enough. Alright, boom. I'm not even gonna bother with the window pull shot on this. It's just not even worth it. I'm gonna just shoot towards the shower from the doorway here, and it'll get the sink into, it'll get a wider shot here than I just got, which is super tight. You can see the tile in the shower. This is probably the best shot here. In bathrooms, I raised the camera height, so I'm seeing like the top of the sink. I don't want to be too low where you're not seeing the top of the sink and all that, so I'm turning the flash trigger off. Get back to my bracket settings. I'm gonna shoot these brackets. Alright, I'm gonna go to my Flambient settings. There. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna go. Alright, same power as before. Flash trigger on. Alright, cool, that was perfect. And again, I'm not gonna bother with the window pull shot here. So that's the last shot here. All right guys, so I hope you found this video insightful and helpful. One thing I wanted to mention, I use autofocus. I don't have any issues usually with it, but some people think I'm crazy for doing that for Flambient since I'm refocusing and all that, but my camera seems to refocus on the same spot every time, usually. So I never had any focus issues, but if that's something you're concerned about, use manual focus. Also, I use auto white balance. Some people think that's crazy. So if those two things concern you, use manual. I personally haven't had any issue with either of those, so I just roll with auto white balance and autofocus, and I do just fine with those things, but I just wanted to mention that. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate all your support. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon on the next one.